the Trump administration has labeled Antifa as a terrorist organization. But just what is and who is Antifa? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Center Lane, a political discussion for those of us in the middle. Compromise is not a bad thing. Well, the Trump administration has recently designated the leftist organization Antifa as a terrorist organization, meaning that they're on the same footing as ISIS, Hamas, MS-13. They put them in that same category. Now, just because they're labeled as a terrorist organization, because he decreed it, it doesn't really mean a whole lot per se. Like, they can't be picked up off the street because they say Antifa on their t-shirt. But anyways, there's a recognition there. They had a meeting recently with Kristi Noem and Pam Bundy were part of it, where there was an anti-terrorist round table. And Kristi Noem said that they just wanted to first thank Trump for doing this, of course, as she normally does. Very, very thankful, very, very, complimentary. But anyway, she said that they just arrested the girlfriend of the person who founded Antifa. So, okay, first off, I'll get into the history of Antifa in just a second, but if you just found this girlfriend, this is 2-3 days ago, there's been no name released, there's been no court hearing, so there's been no nothing. So who are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, and secondly, the founder of Antifa's been around since before Hitler. The Germans started at first an anti-fascist group when Hitler was on the rise, called himself Antifa, and it also spread into Italy, the people that were against Mussolini. So Antifa, the word itself, is an anti-fascist group, fighting fascism. That's where that word started from. So whoever this guy was that supposedly founded it or something, and his girlfriend, I mean, how old is this guy, 100 years old? I don't know, right? So the thing about Antifa, though, really is it's a thought process. It's not really a group. It's not like, for example, there's right-wing groups, the 3 Percenters, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers. Those are actual groups with a hierarchy of leadership. Antifa is more like a belief system. There are small cells and groups of people that are mostly, of course, if there's a KKK rally or something, or a 3 Percenter rally, then Antifa will come and they'll clash. And there's violence. There's definitely violence in there. And it's a large swath of people. Some people are just, very much anti, right-wing groups, and they express themselves in different ways. And there's other parts of Antifa, and a lot of these groups on the right as well, are the 3 Percenters and the Proud Boys. There's a lot of anarchists in there in those that belong to those groups or identify with those groups. And those people are something we got to look out for, because they really want to burn it all down. They want to burn it all down. They're not Trump supporters. They're not Democrats. They don't like the country the way it is. They want it, Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma bomber, is a prime example of somebody who is extremely dangerous on that anarchist type of person. Who just he would blew up the government building. He didn't care there's people in there, and they're dangerous, and they definitely have to be kept an eye on. So, but just call Antifa as a group itself, that to paint everybody with one brush is very difficult to do. Like most of these groups on the far right or far left, there are different degrees of people's belief system, and of course, and what they're capable of doing. Should they be watched? Sure. At least, but again, you have to take this with case by case. It's not so much what they belong to; it's what they've done wrong. If they've done something wrong, no matter whatever they belong to, group, then they need to be, arrested and processed or whatever. But again, painting it all with one broad brush is not necessarily the way to go here. Trump recently said that Antifa was spreading, that they caused the Capitol riots in 2021, that they were like a false flag, went in there to act like they were fans of his, but they actually went there just to disrupt and cause all this mayhem. Well, there's zero proof of that. Like in most of these things, when people start, spouting off and again trying to designate this group or that group as a terrorist group. So Antifa as a whole, no chain of command. It's a left-wing thing, but left-wing ideology, but again, to different degrees. And there's certain people in there that definitely need to be watched and use that as a cover for themselves and pin themselves to a cause, and so they can create and cause violence. So anyway, that's what I see with that. That roundtable discussion, Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem, and I mean, she just sounds ignorant, Kristi Noem, when she says stuff like, "We got the girlfriend of the guy that started Antifa." Well, I don't think so, but whatever, whatever looks good on the camera. She's always looking for camera time. That's my 2 cents on it. You guys, anything you want to add or subtract to that, I'd love to hear it. And again, I thank you for your comments, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.